Hello there, Reject Nation. I'm Greg Alba.
I'm John Humphrey.
We are going to watch from Looper, one of the best channels ever, the most bizarre films coming out in 2020. I love covering Looper's videos. It usually gives plenty to talk about. I saw that this video was trending, and I rarely see Looper trending on the trending page of the Trenders. So I thought, this is perfect. Let's watch this.
Nobody saw these flicks coming. From an
No!
darling trading his Avengers buds in for some furry friends to a 21st century take on a buzzworthy horror classic. These are just some of the most surprising, unexpected, and straight-up bizarre movies hitting theaters in 2020. Dr. Dolittle is a character with a weird history. The physician who could talk to animals was created by author Hugh Lofting in letters written home to his children from the trenches of World War I. The character would go on to become the star of a series of popular children's books set in Victorian England and published from the 1920s through the 50s. A number of adaptations appeared over the following decades, including cartoons, radio plays, stage productions,
graphic
and a
novels.
1967 movie musical starring Rex Harrison. When modern audiences see the name Dolittle, however, they probably think back to the 1998 movie starring Eddie Murphy, which became something of a franchise all its own, spawning such intriguingly titled direct-to-DVD sequels as Tale to the Chief. Now, the good doctor is returning to the big screen in the form of
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. The animal cast will be voiced by a star-studded lineup that includes Rami Malek, John Cena, Emma Thompson, Octavia Spencer, Tom Holland, Selena Gomez, and Ray Fiennes.
I love their
We know
voices.
exactly what you're thinking. Where in the world did this one come from? We don't exactly have an answer for you, but after over a decade rocking that Iron Man suit, maybe RDJ just needed to lighten things up a little bit. It is the destiny of all horror franchises to be
Jordan
rebooted.
Peele's
That's been the case
produced.
for pretty much the entire 21st century so far. Since the dawn of the new millennium, we've seen remakes and reimaginings of The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and multiple stabs, pun intended, at a new Halloween. Another long dormant series seems ready for similar treatment. Candyman, released in 1992, was based on a story by Hellraiser creator Clive Barker and starred Tony Todd as a supernatural killer who haunted a housing project in Chicago and represented the specter of racial and class inequality. Also, bees came out of his mouth. It's weird and
Also, bees came out of his mouth.
and freaking awesome.
But she said his name the last
This is
time.
great.
Candyman. She turned out the lights.
And it's perfect material for the shockingly prolific Jordan Peele,
Jim Madson's
who is
when it comes
producing and co-writing a new Candyman slated to hit theaters in 2020. Bloody Disgusting reports that the film, directed by up-and-comer Nia DaCosta, will be a spiritual sequel that returns to the now gentrified neighborhood of the original. Casting remains unannounced, but
That's
Todd
cool.
is angling to be involved in some capacity.
Come on, Tony.
One of the most intriguing cinematic developments of 2018 was the launch of Sony's new generation of Spider-Man movies. Having successfully partnered with Marvel to bring Tom Holland's live-action Peter Parker to the MCU, the studio has set out to keep their own stake in the Spidey brand alive with a slate of spin-offs and animated titles. The first two examples, Venom and Into the Spider-Verse, prove that they were ready to explore a variety of unique and vastly different facets of the wet corner of the Marvel Universe. Work quickly began on sequels to both Venom and Spider-Verse, though no firm dates for those follow-ups have been officially announced. Sony has, however, confirmed a 2020 release for Morbius, starring the, quote, living vampire who has faced off with Spider-Man in comics since the 70s. Nope, we didn't see that one coming either. Daniel Espinosa is on board to direct, with the script by Dracula Untold writers Matt Sazama and Burt Sharpless. Jared Leto will star as the titular bloodsucker, with former Doctor Who actor Matt Smith appearing in a major role, and True Detective star Adria Arjona as love interest Martine Bancroft.
Well, she's going to be important.
Coming to America was released in 1988, at the height of Eddie Murphy's superstardom. Murphy, who co-wrote the story, stars as Prince Akeem, heir to the throne of the fictional African nation of Zamunda,
Wakanda.
determined to escape an arranged marriage and find a free-thinking bride to fall in love with. He travels to New York City with trusted aide Semi in tow. It was a box office smash, capping off an explosively successful decade for Murphy.
I've warned you. I'll be forced to thrash you. You.
Sam Jackson.
After a period of rumors and rumblings, a Coming to America sequel has been officially announced and set to be released in 2020.
What about Bill
You
and
heard
Ted
that
3?
right. Akeem is coming back to America after 30 years, and this time he's searching for his long-lost son. Original supporting players Arsenio Hall, Sherry Headley, John Amos, and James Earl Jones are all rumored to be in talks as well.
Coming
Blackish
back
creator
to America.
Kenya Barris is penning the screenplay, with Craig Brewer taking the director's chair from the original movie's John Landis. Not only are Roald Dahl's stories enduring works of literature, they've also been adapted by a staggeringly eclectic lineup of filmmakers: Steven Spielberg, Tim Burton, Wes Anderson, and Danny DeVito, to name a few. In 2020, Robert Zemeckis will join that lineup with a new take on The Witches. This 1983 children's novel tells the story of an orphan boy who goes to live with his grandmother, a retired witch hunter. The pair must battle an international coven of witches poised to turn England's children into mice.
Oh my
The Witches
God.
has been made into a movie once before in 1990.
I've never seen this.
Had a
Oh
stellar
my
array of talent, with
God.
acclaimed director Nicholas Roeg at the helm, Jim Henson on board as producer, and a delightfully wicked performance from Angelica Houston. The film was received enthusiastically by critics, though Dahl, enraged by alterations to his story, called it, quote, utterly appalling. Zemeckis' Witches is already shaping up to have an impressive pedigree of its own. Not only is the man behind Back to the Future and Forrest Gump
Now it's gonna
taking
be
the
all
writing and
CGI.
directing duties, but Guillermo del Toro and Alfonso Cuarón are producing.
Oh, never
And
mind. Might not be.
Hathaway is attached to star as the Grand High Witch. The Witches will enchant theaters in the 2020 Halloween season. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.
I thought Bill and Ted 3 was coming. Did you guys see Keanu Reeves' announcement? Where he's like moving around a lot. We're here at the Hollywood Bowl. We're never gonna play here.
Movements.
But when he acts, he's very still.
Yeah.
But he was interviewed. Well, easily the one I'm most excited for is Dr. Dolittle. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. taking over.
That's what we need.
And all those voices.
Especially after playing Tony Stark for so long, I'm just really happy he's going to really throw himself into a brand new character, new role, you know, go in depth.
And his relationship with Spider-Man is going to continue with Tom Holland in there.
Yeah.
It's so easy to promote movies that have voiceovers in it. You just get a bunch of famous people. You see all their famous names on the trailers and the posters, and you go, wow, I love all those famous people.
Yeah.
I want to hear them all talk. And they probably weren't in the same room when they were doing this, but I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun.
Forget all those professional voice actors who only do this.
Well, Robert Downey Jr. doesn't do a whole lot of movies. He needs another solid franchise, and what better than going to the Doolittle? We had too many white people playing Dr. Doolittle. Then we got Eddie Murphy, and we're like, no, never mind. Let's get back to a white guy.
Yeah.
Real Rejects is political now.
What? I hate politics in my art.
How dare you? Socialism sucks.
Yeah, I'm like, Dr. Dolittle sounds like an idea.
I heard it was super expensive. That's what I heard, is that it's very expensive. I hope they go for photorealism.
Yes.
I'm sure it'll be fun. I mean, 29-year-old men are the demographic for it, so hopefully it'll satisfy
We
us.
are the people.
Morbius. We've definitely talked about this at least a few times on this channel.
Yeah.
They made Venom work for the most part. I enjoyed Venom for what it was.
Somehow I don't imagine Jared Leto saving Morbius the way Tom Hardy was able to, but I am curious. I mean, like, I really like the idea of going out and making just other sort of left of center movies about villains or other things. So, like, in that sense, I'm excited by what Sony might be trying to do.
Hopefully they commit to some type of gothic horror movie, since this is a vampire character. That's what I'm hoping for. I feel like it's easy to be positive or cynical about that movie. Kind of just in between right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I mostly just want to see what it looks like, and I'll continue until then being bummed out that Sam Raimi never got to do that in Spider-Man 4.
That's what I say about every villain that gets to make an appearance in any of the Spider-Man movies now. Sam Raimi didn't get to put him in Spider-Man 4.
But he wanted
The Prowler wasn't in Spider-Man 4.
Nah, see, for me, it's the Lizard and Morbius because he actually wanted to do those.
Candyman with Jordan Peele producing. That's
Very
gonna be the main selling point.
He's
Not
gonna be the next person who gets the credit for directing a movie.
Yeah,
Direct,
he's
you know?
gonna be the Phil Lord and Chris Miller and the Tim Burton of all these things. But they brought up the whole gentrification idea, taking some type of like social political commentary infused within its landscape of the film. To me, that sounded cool. I saw Candyman when I was very young. I used to have the Monster Channel, and it just came on one day. I really enjoyed it. It was really creepy. I'm not yet at the point where if I hear Jordan Peele produced, you know, the way they like slap on James Wan's name on horror movies, I'm not yet at that point where I'm 100% sold yet, just because I can't really think of properties where it's like Jordan Peele, like Black Klansman wasn't really advertised like that. It was a Spike Lee joint, you know? And I feel like this will be that movie where the main push is produced by Jordan Peele.
Yeah. And I mean, generally, this is probably the one I'm most excited about from this list, because Candyman is another horror movie that has some pretty rich lore at the core of it. I really like the original movie, and the original movie has a sort of socioeconomic allegory on its mind. And so, yeah, coming back years later, I feel like especially now is a great time for a new Candyman. And yeah, if we're tackling the ideas of gentrification, I mean, there's already some of that stuff at play in the original film, so I think that's a great idea, actually. And I hope they get Tony Todd.
Would you say it has a core lore?
Yeah, I would say it has a core lore.
I heard him kind of rhyme it
Thanks to
many
Clive
Barker. Sentences ago, and finally got to say it.
Yeah. Was it a chore waiting for a good moment to slip that in there?
I'm a whore for puns.
Hey, there we go. And speaking of puns coming to America,
Or coming back.
I was
to
going to say that's
America.
what I would have called it.
I think you got to bring back Samuel L. Jackson's character.
I really
Be
hope they do.
A great Easter egg to have in there.
Yes.
I don't have nostalgia for coming to America.
I already live here.
I already live here. It's great. Greatest country in the world. I'm not excited for this movie. I'm not. But I'm really happy for those that are very excited for it. Eddie Murphy did not get to do his follow-up to Dr. Dolittle. So he's doing coming back to America.
Hey, Eddie Murphy could use a boost. I feel like he's been in a weird place for a long time.
Yeah.
So I would love to see Eddie Murphy rekindle his old glory days again.
That's all we can say on that one. The Witches. I've actually never seen this movie. That was my first time seeing footage of that. That looked terrifying.
It is pretty creepy.
They said there was Doug Benson effects. No,
Yep.
Jim Benson effects.
Doug Benson is all over that movie, and you can tell. Yeah, Jim Henson.
Oh yeah, the creepy side of Jim Henson's
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, totally. I grew up with the book and the audiobook, and then I watched the movie at a young age, and yeah, it definitely creeped me out then, and I've always remembered it, and I had no idea. Of everything on this list, this was the one I had no idea was happening. In Robert Zemeckis' hands, I'm very curious to see how it'll turn out, but...
Why? Dude, it's gonna be great, man.
Oh, totally. Definitely. I don't know
Come
what
on.
I was thinking of there. You know what? Maybe I was thinking of a different Robert.
Dude, he made
know.
the Lethal Weapon movies.
All of them, yeah.
He made Reindeer Games.
Definitely.
That's that director.
Uh-huh. I was trying to think of, like, other Roberts.
My concern with the movie is that it'll go CGI when clearly what they showed there was some very creepy, great-looking practical effects. With the transition Robert Zemeckis has made over the years, I'm likely to believe he's gonna go down that. This will be live action, you know, so it's not gonna be his Polar Express or his Dr. Goose. What the hell's that damn movie called? What's that character's name?
Scrooge?
Scrooge, Dr. Goose.
I think you're thinking of Mother Goose.
I kind of see it. The Ooge.
Yeah, there's a G and an E and an S.
Anagram. Is that what the word is?
Anagram, yeah.
Damn it. But it said Guillermo del Toro is going to be producing, and they might do practical because I know Guillermo del Toro, other than Pacific Rim, is pretty much, you know, he tries to infuse practical as much as possible, and I'm sure he'll have that note.
Binge watch all these flicks same day.
Same day, man.
Let's do it.
Guys, which one are you most excited for that's coming out in 2020? They didn't do any MCU movies.
I know.
It's not one of the weirder ones. You guys can subscribe to The Real Rejects. Click that notification bell. Check us out on Patreon. We got shit. A lot of shit. And you can shit too. It's healthy to have at least 3 bowel movements a day if you're a male.
And none ever if you're a female.
Catch you guys soon.